What is up, Bomb Squad? Welcome to the Burndown YouTube channel. So today we're going to have a bit of fun because yesterday I welded up a bunch of 15-inch brushless fan holders that we have to take up to war this weekend. So I didn't really film or do anything because it was all business. I just had to get those things done. And then today is Sunday, and I was going to be a little bit lazy. Thought about putting the boys' motor together, the top end of it, but that doesn't sound as fun to me as messing with this thing. So if you've been following along, the Maliboom is pretty well a runner driver. We haven't shaken it down yet. There's still a couple things that I need to kind of address before we take it to the racetrack. But on the opposite end of that, my local racetrack's closed, so we're doing a lot more street driving. And in doing all the street driving, what I'm trying to get done is I'd like to work out all the stuff I don't like about the Maliboom. So the first and foremost thing that I do not like at this point with the car in the configuration that it is in is this. So this is a lot, right? We've got a 5-inch fender dump. Does it sound good? Yes. Is it efficient at getting exhaust out of the turbo? And it doesn't make power? You bet. Is it loud and obnoxious when you're driving for a long time? Yes, it is. So I've been trying to figure out how to address this, and I was talking to Calvin yesterday, Navac 57. We were BSing about stuff. He runs my fans, and we were talking about some fan stuff for an upcoming project he has, and he mentioned a silencer. So then that sent me down a rabbit hole. So a silencer is essentially a piece that you would take and you'd insert it into the end of a muffler. And then that got me thinking, what is a muffler, right? It's just, I've always looked at them and it's kind of funny because you're like, it's just sheet steel rolled up and there's some baffling or some packing or whatever's inside of it. And then that got me thinking even more because you mentioned the silencer and you looked at the muffler and I go, the pipe that goes from the turbo out the fender is essentially the body of a muffler. Now we just have to contain it was kind of my idea. So that's where we are today. We're gonna do a little bit of science, have a little bit of fun. So let's go check this thing out and kind of get an idea of what we're gonna do with it. So here we are in the engine bay, and as you can see, this thing comes out, goes straight out the fender. So there's a pretty long shot here where it's pretty darn straight. I'd say from about here to there. So that seems like a pretty good body of a muffler in my opinion. So let's do this. Let's take this thing out of here. We'll take this off, pull this out, and then we can kind of get a look at it. And I think the goal is to try to make this our muffler. So here is my full exhaust out of the Maliboom. And if you look at it, it's essentially the size of one of those mufflers. You look at the race mufflers that they sell or whatever, it's 10-inch body, 14-inch length or whatever. And I'm sitting here thinking, this is essentially like the body of one of those mufflers, minus the guts. So, and you can see it's damn near straight in there. So, I think today's endeavor is to try to put some guts in here. So let me brainstorm, figure out what we're gonna do. I'm thinking like an aluminum insert, and then we'll just see how we go. So we gathered some supplies. So what I'm thinking is we'll use the tape, wrap it around the end. That'll give me a circumference. We mark that off. I got this strap that was already cut. I might look around. Maybe if I have a shorter one, depends on what the length of the tape ends up being for the circumference of this. Cut this down. We can roll a piece. And my goal is to roll a piece that technically goes on the inside of this. So we'll get the outside circumference. This isn't very thick. But when we roll this, we'll leave it a little bit long and we'll stuff it in and cut it to fit. Because the goal would be to have a piece that slides in and out. And then we need the plate and then a pipe. And I'm not sure if we're doing 2.5, 3. And then basically it'll just choke down the end of this. That's essentially what we're trying to do. And then if that kind of works, because that's like the basic, easiest thing to do, we could probably figure out some sort of other stuff if we need to add, or we could add anything to help quiet it down more. But just in general, I just want to cork this thing and then choke it down. And I feel like even just doing that should hopefully quiet the car down a bit.
Glaze on the dash, leather is smelling like brown flooring. Feel like I'm watching television on the couch snoring. I must be dreaming, leaning back inside this chariot. Hitch on the back of this truck, a Harley, I carry it. A chalice in Wonderland. Fill up my cup with Jack D and take my fucking key so that I don't wreck it. Let me come sit on the passenger side and check it. How does it feel from over here? Oh, bless it. This is for all the Chevys that I collected. Big trucks, low riders, whatever the best is to you. Man, I just wanna give you a message. I used to sit on sidewalks like every day, watching punks and tumps and don'ts, hella paid. But I just focused on my vision and never quitting. Now, man, I'm sitting in my vision with a reason to celebrate. I'm getting my Chevrolet, my rock Chevrolet. Got that cocktail in my lap, in case you want to play. In my Chevrolet, my rock Chevrolet. Let's go get you off, we know, and ride all time all day. In my Chevrolet, my rock Chevrolet. Got that cocktail in my lap, in case you want to play.
After some struggling, we got this thing done. And then my buddy Travis is actually here. And I was getting frustrated welding on this. And he's like, yeah, it's anodized, dude. So apparently there's a coating, because I could not get this to go under there. So it is super ugly, but this is essentially what we're trying to do. I don't know how the hell we're going to hold it in here, but this actually fits in there. So we'll have to, see, like that. That was the idea, right? Choke her down. Looks wonderful. So let's see. And then it's a simple solution. If it does cut the noise, we will figure out how to mount it in. So let's throw this back of the car. We'll fire it up. We'll download a decibel meter. We'll see what it is. Kind of stand in a spot or sit in the car. And then we'll turn it off and slap this in before stuff gets too hot. And then hopefully it doesn't shoot it out onto the driveway, because there's nothing really holding it in. But we'll see. We'll see what happens, right? Okay, we downloaded a trusty 100% accurate decibel meter. And then I'm just going to do the stand over here test, I think. I don't know how far away we are. What do you think? 8 feet? 4 feet? 5 feet? And then we'll fire it off, and then before it gets too hot, I'll stuff that in there. And I'm hoping, we're betting it maybe 5 chug-a-lugs and it's going to shoot it onto the ground, but I guess we'll find out. So we'll try to hold this. Here, you could be the decibel guy. Why don't you just stand wherever you're going to stand? You just stand there and fire it off, and then we'll measure it?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, 95 decibel.
Between 95 units.
Now put the old quiet canister, patent pending. It's already kind of warm. All right. What? It sounds way quieter, huh?
That bad app, it went up. I can tell you, it's quieter.
Oh yeah. What was it last time?
Oh wait, it must be so far away. We should have checked the app.
Oh. All right, now let's see if we can spit it out. See, that thing fits like a glove. We're not going to win any beauty competitions with that thing. And that may not be my final iteration of this. Now that I got buddies over at Fire Blast, I could probably laser good parts and do the whole dance. But honestly, for what it is, And even if I could probably just paint that thing black and it would kind of blend in, I'm pretty happy with it. I think for the decibel level, I want to take it around the block here in a minute. But all in all, my neighbors are going to dig it, and I think it should knock enough edge out of there that we could hopefully like jam the radio at a normal level. And here, we're just going to hear more squeaks and rattles at this point until we get some real sound deadening in. But maybe we can hear some motor stuff and all the goodness. Obviously, this is going to limit trailer burnouts. I don't know what we're looking at horsepower-wise, and I really don't want to back stuff up and blow my freaking motor up trying to push it out of a 2.5-inch exhaust for an entire V8. But I think just motoring down the road, hopefully we should be all right. So that is it. I think the experiment went well. We'll tool around with it a bit. I'll make a decision whether or not to keep it, change it, maybe do a 3-inch, paint it black, make a new one, whatever. But for now, it just takes that edge off, and I could be more excited. It's fun to screw off for science. Till next time, you guys, I'm out. Seems good. Seems more like a oh man. That is so much more enjoyable. Let's see with the window up. I think a little sound deadening because everything's all tinny. Yeah, man. We're gonna have a gem here pretty soon.
Rolling through the streets, yeah, I'm the king of the block. Got that dragon dry style, make your whole city rock. Maliboom gangster, with a touch of finesse. I'm burning rubber, raising hell, feel the heat, no stress. Turbo LS, under the hood, I'm moving quick. Nicky tires grip the road, make them stick like a trick. She, sloppy too, we got a hit in 08. In the war performance parts all over the place. The bomb squad's